What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this video is about Snowfall Season 4, Episode 8, Betrayal. Now, we got a lot going on. Teddy, we don't know what's going on with him. He's trying to figure out what's going on with the Nicaraguan Contras. We got Franklin dealing with the outcome of the news story, and he got to deal with Manboy and Scully still and his crew. It's just a lot going on, and who can they trust? Let's get into it. Now we see Teddy, that he in the jungle, he tweaking, he's struggling. He got to get a little booger sugar in his body so he can power up, get the energy to continue on. I mean, he got to just do what he got to do to make it. He's sweating bullets. He's looking wore out, tired. He finally gets there. He sees that all the Contras and everybody's dead, and before he can do anything, he gets popped upside the head. He's out for the count. Now we see back in the city at the barbershop, Manboy's barbershop, everybody commenting on the story, while Manboy is saying that he believes it's Franklin, and other people is debating on who it is. Now Khadijah's pissed, and he told her, look, we gonna get that connect. And then that's when Scully said, man, you dirty. And Manboy said, look, this is what we gonna do, this the plan, we gonna get the connect, take over. Remember, I looked out for you in the foster homes. Meanwhile, everybody's all over Franklin about how this story got out, how they gonna be in trouble. What is he gonna do? Jerome is really pissed at what's happening. He telling Franklin, you need to get on your knees and apologize. And Franklin saying, look, y'all need to realize I got your back. You don't have to worry about a damn thing. I'm the one that covered you with that Judas Kevin. I'm the one that covered you with Andre. I'm going to make sure that nothing happened to y'all. So you need to be cool. And if you got some suggestions, let me know. Features, let's roll. And so now we see that everybody is a little on edge. Meanwhile, we see that Irene is over there. She's getting little bottles of champagne from other newspapers. Everybody is talking about the story. She's just still trying to concentrate with her editor. Meanwhile, her little Jimmy Olsen tell her that she got a phone call from Mr. X, who in turn was Franklin wanting to meet up. Meanwhile, we see T, and she's over here complaining to somebody, and then we see that it's Manboy. She's sitting there with all that booty sitting looking beautiful. Meanwhile, he pissed, and he's telling her she need to get that connect. And she's saying, look, I've been trying. I told y'all when y'all followed him, but that was on y'all. He's like, so it's my fault? And then he go ahead and shoot a bullet in the wall, talking about you worried about Franklin, you need to worry about me. She like, look, just promise that you give me my money and you take care of my brother. And so now she know that the heat is on. Meanwhile, we see Teddy waking up, and he in the middle of the grass, and some little muchacha then popped him upside the head, and he wondering what's going on. Lil mama is pissed at him. She ain't really telling him much. She's saying, you left us hanging. She come over there with the blade. Teddy gets worried because he about to get his throat slit. And then he's telling her he was there. He was looking for the contact, Elena. And so then she takes him, walks him over somewhere, and then he falls. And when he falls, he see that she's dead. And then he break down, start crying because he realized that he wasn't there in time, and that all these people is dead, and that his mission is a failure right now. And she sees that he's really heartbroken, so she doesn't kill him. Meanwhile, Teddy's contact, his boss, comes in, and Gustavo is sitting there, and he's reading the paper about what just got loose. And the contact can't get in the office. Gustavo pull out the pistola, say, hey, you don't have a key, you don't get in. Meanwhile, we see that Franklin and Irene is sitting there meeting up, and she got the tape recorder. She trying to get more info, and he watching her down that whiskey. He like, yeah, I see why you and my pops get along. Meanwhile, listen, if this story is true, what do you think they would do? They would stop at nothing to stop this story, even your family. And so you need to be careful. And she's like, hey, you leave my family out of this. He like, hold up. You act as if I'm going to be the one that's going to do it. I ain't going to do nothing to you. Remember, I'm in real estate. Anyway, you be careful, because, you know, it's a lot going on. And so he walk off, and he done put a little fear up in her. Meanwhile, we see that Alton done popped up in there trying to make a last minute plea with Sissy to why don't they go ahead and pack their bags and go ahead to Cuba. And she's like, I don't know about that. He like, I got the fake passports ready, we can go. She like, what about Franklin? He say, that's on him. Meanwhile, we see that the contact that came with some backup. This time he trying to get in the office, and then he finds out that Gustavo cleaned everything everything out, including the safe. So he's screwed. Meanwhile, Louie is tripping. She's trying to tell Jerome, don't go to that funeral and the projects. We got a bounty on our head. And he like, look, hey, you worried about the heat. It's all you and Franklin fault. We got all this heat. Matter of fact, the only people I can trust right now is them brothers in the projects. I mean, hell, we gonna have to go and show respect. Now, you can stay holed up in your ivory tower as long as you like, but I'm gonna go ahead and handle this. So now she's frustrated because her and Jerome relationship is on the rocks. Meanwhile, Teddy's sitting there at the campfire with Lil Mama. She hungry as hell, eating up some MREs, and he's trying to talk to her about, hey, he gonna have to report what's happening. He gonna have to leave. Here's a little do-re-mi. Make sure that you go ahead and start a new life. But she ain't want to take it, and he's saying, hey, it's fair for what happened. And he put it under a rock, told her to think about it, but she ain't really trusting him, and she really pissed that everybody dead, and he didn't come through in time. Meanwhile, we see the Franklin sitting here looking at paperwork, big money on the table. He's stressing about a lot of different aspects, and here come T talking about some, yeah, hey, look, you don't have to go through this alone. If you need anything, I mean anything, let me know, I can help you. And he give her a little smile saying, no, I'm good, you being here is enough. So she tried to give a little sugar on him, you know what I'm saying, see if that worked, and it didn't. He's saying, hey, look, I got this. Meanwhile, we see that Teddy wake up and old girl is gone, and he looking, so is that money. So she didn't realize it's time to bounce. Meanwhile, Sissy get a knock at the door from Paul Davis' associate. She like, hey, I was just on my way to go meet Paul. He like, hey, I'm glad I caught you. No need. And he handed back the little envelope. She like, hey, but this money was a gift for our appreciation. He like, well, circumstances have changed. We're not going to be able to do business with you. Have a good day. And so now she realized they ain't about to do it because they too hot. Meanwhile, we see Irene getting heat from her bosses talking about, hey, you can't put all this info out and get a CIA agent killed. And she's saying, but he's bringing drugs into the country. He said, yeah, well, hey, that's what we got to do. Next thing you know, these guys from the Pentagon come and they go ahead and have a meeting, and now she knows it's just her, herself, and Irene. Meanwhile, we see that Franklin, everybody is going to Fatback funeral. No Neck Johnson is there. He say, hey, I appreciate you for coming, but Khadijah and her little crew with Salt and Pepper is sitting there, and they ready to go and do a hit. And she like, oh, there go Leon. They talking about my curls getting sweated out. Let's go make this move. So then while everybody's sitting there talking and they didn't know that they was there, we see that Jerome see Louie come walking up, and she decided she gonna come to the funeral because she didn't want to come at first. So he happy. He all smiles. He got the Jerry curl juice dripping in the sun. He ready to give a hug, but little did he know, here come Khadijah with Salt and Pepper ready to push it real good all over their ass, and they busting shots, everybody getting down, trying to take cover. A couple innocent bystanders then got popped, and then before Franklin and everybody can really realize what happened, they realized that Louie done got popped. And so Jerome trying to help her, she's screaming, she crying in pain. Jerome is tripping because, you know, they wasn't on the best of terms, and now she may die. So everybody is panicking. He tell them get to call an ambulance. Meanwhile, Franklin is sitting there watching what's going on. He just thinking, and he pissed right now. And so now Jerome sitting there crying, holding Louie while she struggling to hang on. Meanwhile, we see Franklin and Leon, and they trying to figure out what's happening. And Leon said it wasn't Man, Boy, or Scully. It was that little girl mama. And so while they was talking, Franklin and everybody trying to wonder what's going on, he said, keep an eye on Jerome. And then here comes T talking about, yeah, them two other girls, I can find out who it is, but that girl was Khadijah. That's the girl mama. And I could go ahead and put out a call and figure out some stuff if you want. And so Franklin like, all right, go ahead, figure it out. Meanwhile, we see Irene, and she trying to pack up her valuables, which wasn't nothing but a couple pictures. And then Gunline tell her, hey, look here, you didn't pass the gun line, boss. Now you in trouble. What you talking about? Stay off the grid. She like, look, I gotta stay off the grid for a little while. I mean, it's just a lot of heat. And he's saying, look, you didn't did too much now. I mean, I tried to tell you. And she said, look, I'm not gonna sit here and know the truth and not say nothing. And he said, look, you stay with me. And she said no, because she didn't want no heat. Meanwhile, we see Manboy getting the call, and T is telling her what happened and that Khadijah tripping. And so he get off the phone telling him to go and get the straps because we expecting company. Meanwhile, Teddy get back and his boss tell him we got bigger problems than Nicaragua, and he talking about the news story. Meanwhile, Franklin's sitting there with his mama telling her, well, it's gonna be all right, don't worry about it. And she tells him, hey, we got that money back from Paul. They don't want to do business with us, and also I'm moving out the house. And Franklin like, what? Why? You moving with Alton? She said, no, I'm tired of being in between both of y'all. I gotta figure out what's best for me. And so now she's about to make a move to get up out of this drama. Meanwhile, Franklin get a page and it's Teddy, so he finally go meet Teddy. He like, man, where you been? I thought you left me hanging drunk in the ditch or something. And so Teddy's saying, hey, look, man, what the hell happened with this story? What, you couldn't stop him? He like, hey, man, it was my father. I thought I could trust him. He say, well, look, we gonna have to do something. I'll handle the reporter. And he said, I thought that you was gonna leave me hanging. I tried to talk to her, but she ain't gonna listen. He said, hey, look, I'm here with you to the end. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna handle the reporter. You make sure your father shut up and don't say much. And so now they got the little plan together. Meanwhile, Franklin get back. T like, I've been paging you. He said I had something to handle. So she come and tell him, hey, I put the word out, and Manboy, he trying to get your plug. Maybe if you go ahead and give him the plug, maybe he could talk Khadijah into calming down, and you know, we can dead this little beef. And so he start having a little stress attack right quick, and he talking to Leon. Leon ain't trusting it, and then he tell him, yeah, I know, right, we can't trust none of this. And Teddy told him at the end of the day, people trying to protect themselves. So now he tell Peaches go get the car, and while he going to get the car, he putting a little plan together. So he go and tell her, hey, go ahead and tell Manboy I'm gonna give him the plug. Go home and call him. So meanwhile, Jerome, he in there, he's crying over what happened with Louie. He got a lot of regrets because, you know, they was already kind of beefing, and he was kind of treating her kind of shady because he found out about what was going on with CIA, and he was a little pissed. So he was a little short with her, and now that she may die, he kind of regretting and resenting that. He feeling real hurt and upset, both with what they did to her and with himself pretty much. And he all alone while she's sitting there fighting for her life. And so meanwhile, we see Irene laid up there like it ain't no care in the world. Next thing you know, she about to catch, you know what I'm saying, a little straight cocktail CIA style. And I don't think she ready for this type of shot. Meanwhile, she's getting a little shot injected, and Teddy say, hey, you're gonna wake up tomorrow this time, but next time you won't wake up. And so they done gave her a double dose of make you think about it. And so next thing you know, she done got put to sleep, and hopefully she wake up. Meanwhile, Jerome done got his whole life flipped straight upside down, and he pissed, and he ready to go ahead and go to war. One man army, Rambro. And so he telling them, come on, man, let's go. And Leon, like Franklin said, let's wait. He's like, man, fork Franklin, man. I'm ready to go ahead, get the straps, and go head hunting on all of these Negroes. And so he tell Jerry Jones, you know what I'm saying, let's roll. And so they do Jerry Jones brothers, the Jerry curl juice is dripping for real. Meanwhile, T, she on the phone talking to Manboy saying, hey, look, Franklin, you know, he said he'd do the deal, you know, and I need to make sure I get my money, and you know, what's up with my brother? He like, yeah. She's like, I promise you do it. He like, I promise. And she said, now at least make it seem like Khadijah gonna be cool. So she get off the phone. She think everything good and relaxing, but little did she know Big Daddy Kane popped up around the corner, and him and Peaches was listening to the whole thing, pulled out the gun. He like, how long you been playing me, T? Huh? How long you been playing me, T? And so she was speechless right there. She ain't know he was on to her. And the whole thing was a setup to see how the hell she know all this information and put everything together so fast. Now it's time for some real talk. It's good to see that Teddy had tried to figure out what's going on with the Nicaraguan Contras, but it's messed up because he didn't get the guns there in time, and so now they all got murdered, which is messed up. Now Manboy, like I said in the previous video, is who Franklin should have took out. Instead, he tried to get Scully taken out, and like Louis said, Manboy is too ambitious. He gonna always try to find a way to come up, and now he trying to find the connect, and he been using T the whole time. I said in the previous video before that they have showed that they use a girl 2 other times this season to get to him, and she was the 3rd time, which was the charm. And she definitely was putting that little thing on him, trying to put that little snappy nappy on Franklin and hope he'd spill the beans with a little bit of pillow talk, but it didn't work, and now she's about to end up dead, which I hope Franklin don't let her slide. I mean, it depends on how good she was putting that thing on him, on whether he gonna kill her or not. Jerome, he been real shady with everybody ever since he done found out the truth with the CIA and the newspaper, and he need to wake up and appreciate that people been trying to look out for him. And if people end up dead like Louis or Franklin, he gonna be real hurt and upset at how he was treating everybody. And Irene, now she's starting to realize the repercussions and the problems that she created, because she's sitting there as a little old lady in the house, and like Teddy and Gustavo could have killed her right then and there, or gave her a double dose of a cocktail that she ain't gonna wake up from. She gonna have a hell of a hangover, and she lucky that she may wake up in the next day. And like Franklin told her, hey, you need to be careful, because there ain't nothing they would stop at doing to take you down. And also, I think that Alton is out of his damn mind trying to go to Cuba and live, and he think that he can go there and get away with what they have done and all the problems he created. Whereas if that's what he wanted to do, that's what he should have did on his own, or he should have came and talked to Sissy and Franklin from the first place and let them know. And lastly, Khadijah has to go. I know her daughter was killed, but that's kind of her fault for riding with her daughter in the car with them dudes, and they was all dirty, going crazy, trying to gang bang, do all this stuff in the first place. It was only a matter of time before something bad happened. And now she didn't have Fatback killed, and now this one lady got shot, and Louis, she tripping. They ain't got that one dude that looked like Leon killed. She's getting a lot of people killed, and they are all innocent, and they didn't have nothing to do with the fact that her daughter got killed. And I think that she's making matters worse, bringing more heat on them, and I want to see what happens with them at the end of the day. And we'll see in the next episode if Franklin gonna be able to keep Alton mouth shut. If anything, take his ass to Cuba, get the hell out of Dodge, and shut your butt up, because you bringing way too many problems that you ain't gonna have to deal with. In the end, y'all let me know what you think. I like this episode a lot, and I think that it's going to be real interesting to see what happened in the end, and if Franklin and Teddy are going to be able to shut this story up. Teddy did have the people from the Pentagon come and make sure they ain't going to air the part 2 to the story, so we'll see what happens. And if Irene try to go rogue, trying to break this story and put her life on the line, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the end what you think in the comments. I'm Jay, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace.